Lukas Ehrle, welcome to the Running Long podcast.
Yeah, thanks for the invitation. I really like to be here. Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, it's my pleasure. How are you doing?
Yeah, good. Yeah, I had great races. Now I'm at home, so yeah, everything is perfect.
Yeah, cool. We'll get into your races and training, but I wanted to give our audience a little introduction about who you are because maybe a lot of people don't know you. You're very young. Obviously, you're not even 20. You're only 19. You're from Germany, and as I was mentioning, for people who don't know Lucas, is already a very accomplished athlete and for sure uh, is one of the most interesting rising stars in the sport of trail running, but not only, as we will discover. And I also wanted to list some of his results. I'm sure I will miss many, but he's won a European Championship as a junior in El Paso in 2022. Last year, he got fourth in Innsbruck at the World Mountain Running Championship, always in the junior race. He was first at the YCC at UTMB, that is basically the junior race of UTMB. He was 17th at the European Cross Country Championship 2023 in Bruxelles, and he's already won 2 senior national titles of mountain running. Besides that, he's got personal best of 8:18 in the 3,000 meters, 14:01 in the 5K, and 29:09 in the 10,000 meters on the track. So not bad at all for a 19-year-old runner. And now to outstanding performances at the European Trail and Mountain Running Championship in Annecy, where of course you took second in the up and down race and third in the uphill race, probably surprising many people, including myself. I mean, I knew you were pretty fit with that 10,000 meter that you ran this spring, but one thing is the track and another thing is the trails, you know? So
Yeah.
after that, I thought, okay, I need to talk to Lucas and get him on the podcast because it's going to be a fun conversation. So, first, just to get things started, how do you feel about this European Championship and tell us about your races?
Yeah, I would say it's still incredible. I went there and thought, yeah, I want to do a good race. If I have a really good day, I can maybe make it to the top 10, but it's a big step from juniors to seniors. So I knew so many great athletes, big names, and yeah, they all did so well in the season, so I knew it's a really hard yeah, exercise for me. But yeah, I was like, I can't lose anything. I should try. And I went with the leading group in both races. Then I fall back a bit, but I'm still in good position to yeah, get the medal. And yeah, it worked out. I don't know how, but yeah, it was just crazy, I think. And if you see you can make it to the podium, then you are so motivated and yeah, people cheering for you, shouting. Yeah, I still can't believe, but I would say it was the best weekend of my life. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. I think these kind of breakthrough performances are the best, or they're just the best because you don't expect, you don't even know what your possibilities are, and you just go without expectations, and then maybe you have a breakthrough and it becomes such an awesome experience and such a great memory. So of course, congrats. Also,
Thanks.
we should mention that the conditions were really tough, especially in the uphill race, which started the European Championship in Annecy, because it was very rainy and very muddy, muddy course, very cold also near the top. And personally, I struggled a lot. I was 16th in that race. Honestly, not what I was hoping for, but it's okay. It's always a good experience. So how did you handle those conditions? Like, weren't you bothered by the mud, and like, especially in the first section of the uphill race where it was like really steep and really muddy, and I was just sliding down, and I felt like I was not making any progress. How did you manage to climb so well?
Before I went to the US, that were the conditions I liked the most because, yeah, it's a
Okay.
hard race, it's a tough race, and yeah, many people struggle with that. But after being in the US and doing much track training and not really, yeah, mountain practice, I thought, oh, that's not the best conditions for me. A
Yeah.
fast loop would be also good, but I thought, yeah, you should do your best, and normally you are really good at vertical, also in the steep parts, and that's how I did it. I just looked at the feeds from the person in front of me and didn't look really up, because if you look up all the time, then you see, wow, it is tough.
Yeah.
And yeah, the time was flying. Um, and yeah, I was also struggling a bit, but I had really good shoes. I was thinking much about which shoes I should take the days before, but yeah, it worked out with the shoes I took. And so, yeah,
What
it
did you
was not
use?
too bad. What?
What shoes did you use?
I choose the Fuji Speed 2. I was also thinking about taking the Fuji Light, but the
So
Fuji
ASICs,
Speed 2
right?
has a, yeah, has a bit better grip, and that's why I took it. Yeah.
Cool, cool. Yeah, I think personally I made a mistake not to stay enough in the front of the race in the first like dirt road section where it was like more runnable, and I was like too
Hmm.
far back, and then like I was just like, when you get stuck behind a group of people and then you just start sliding, it becomes really hard, and I was like not making any progress, so I got frustrated, and I was just not in the best position to compete and really survive. I think it was like a lot about surviving that section of that was really steep and really muddy, because the second half of the race was way more runnable, and you probably ran really fast because um besides Joe Stewart, who won the race, and Jacob Atkin, who was second, you probably made up a lot of ground there, if I'm not wrong, right?
Yeah, yeah, you're right. Yeah, I overtook yeah, a lot of people.
Yeah.
I couldn't see them anymore, and I didn't really know how far they would be away. But then one person yeah, staying at the side told me, like, you are 27 seconds away from the podium, you are fifth. And then I thought, yeah, it's possible to make it if I have yeah, really good legs in the second part and can go really fast. But you don't know how fast the other runners can go, because we also have some mountain runners who are really fast on the road. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, for sure you have very impressive track PRs, but it's not like the other people are slow. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's it's tricky, you know. So yeah, cool. It was very nice to see you up at the front and making up so much ground in the second
Thanks.
half. And then the final day of the European Championship, you took second, probably even more impressive given, you know, the downhill and the mud and the fact that the course was fairly technical. I ran on the course a little bit. It was not like the easiest course. Um, and you wrote, I had a tough battle with Roberto De Lorenzi for the European Championship title, and in the end, I lost by 3 seconds. Nevertheless, my expectations were far exceeded. I would have never thought that I could keep up so well with world-class runners. That's why I'm just extremely grateful for all the great moments I was able to experience this weekend. A big dream has come true for me. Do you want to add any comment on that? And just how was the race for you?
Yeah. I had like really good legs, I think. The day after the vertical, yeah, my legs felt pretty good. And so, yeah, I
How
was
did you recover?
confident that,
Did you run on
what
Saturday, or did you
yeah,
run
yeah, just like I think it was like 8K or something, just the easy jog.
flat?
Yeah, it felt pretty good. And yeah, I was confident that I can try to stay with the leading group again. And I had some experience from vertical which I could use.
Yeah.
And yeah, I stayed with the front pack in the really difficult part with climbing and yeah, steep climbing. I lost yeah, some seconds. I think I was like 15 seconds away from the leading group at the highest point. But yeah, the race was still long, and so I risked much in the first downhill to yeah, get to the group again. And yeah, I got there pretty fast. And then yeah, I could overtake one after the other. And there was even a point in the race when I was leading for some 100 meters. That was
Wow.
really funny to, yeah, to lead the European Championship race. But yeah, Roberto De Lorenzi was a bit, yeah, too hard to get.
Yeah.
Um, he was so fast in the technical downhill, and yeah, I had no option to train that. And yeah, maybe the flat part at the sea was a bit yeah, not long enough for me,
Yeah.
maybe. Yeah,
Yeah. It was only
to
like
yeah,
one
to
one
get
K.
him. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, Roberto told me that he was really, really scared of you in that part, that you were going to overtake him. So he was using like his technical skills in the downhill to make up some ground of you on you. And I think I was on the top, uh, like after the part where you had to scramble a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it was Roberto with um, a couple of other guys, and then you in first place, probably 10 or 15 seconds
Yeah,
back.
yeah,
So yeah, very, very, very impressive. Um, cool. I mean, it was great to see you, and we'll also talk about training, like how you prepared for these races, because I think it's very interesting given the fact that you're a college athlete. We don't see many college athletes competing in trail and mountain running. So that's for sure very interesting to discuss. And but we'll get to that later. First, I wanted to ask you more about you, because I don't know much about you, honestly.
yeah.
Like who you are, where you're from, and then if you
Mm-hmm.
want to add anything, like some of your passions and things that really make you you.
Yeah, maybe first of all, where I live more in the south of Germany. It's called Baden-Württemberg, the state. It's not that close to the Alps. We have Black Forest area,
Oh, cool.
yeah, like woods
Beautiful.
and hills, but not perfect for training yeah, mountain running, because we have two small hills. You can maybe make 400-meter intervals or something, but not yeah, 15 minutes running only up. But I
Not a
like the
vertical
area.
kilometer.
Yeah, yeah, it's not that good, but I like the area.
Yeah, it's
And
very nice.
yeah, in January I went to the US to study. I study business management, and yeah, it's Wingate University in North Carolina. From Germany, it's yeah, an 8-hour flight. And I have a really strong training group there. We have 7 people who are around 40 minutes in 5K. And I think like 5 people sub 29:30 in the 10K. So
Wow.
it's really good for me. And yeah, in my free time when I'm in Germany, I also like biking. Yeah, that's the other sport I really like. And yeah, hiking with the family is also great. And yeah, being in the mountains is the best thing for me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're an outdoor person. Do you have any siblings, brothers and sisters?
Yeah, I have a sister. She was also competing at the
Oh
European
yeah,
Championships. Yeah,
obviously.
she's
She did really well.
16 years old and she won the U20 category. So
Yeah.
yeah, we have the same passion in running. She does a bit more track. I do a bit more trail and mountain running, but yeah, it's nice to have yeah, a sister who has the same passion, and you can go to competitions together, cheer on each other, motivate each other. Yeah.
Yeah, that's really cool. Yeah, I could have known the answer of this question because yeah, I noticed that she won the junior category in the women's race. So cool.
Nice, nice.
Um, do you like have you always been a runner since you were very young? Like how did you start running? And also were you doing any other sports? Like you mentioned you like cycling. Have you ever done any competitive cycling or any other competitive sports growing up?
um Cycling is just besides running, it's not competitive. It's
Okay.
yeah, more recovery, chilling, exploring the nature. Yeah, and other sports I did, I also played soccer, maybe as every boy in Germany, but only when I was really young. And I started running with about 8 years. And yeah, it was because I went with my parents. When they were running, I was biking with them. And then you come to the point when you think, oh, I want to run instead of biking because it, yeah, should be nicer. And that's why I tried. And then I went to, yeah, races around my home area. It's more like fun races. It's maybe 10K races. You have a bit road, a bit in the forest. It's not the race for the best times, and the races for juniors were sometimes 800 meters, sometimes 3K. And I almost never did track races that time, only running in the nature. I was in a club that time, but I did like jumping and yeah, also throwing there, and not that much running. That is why I did running at home on my own, because I liked it the most, and we didn't do it much, so I had to do it on my own. And yeah, the forest was always my training area. Yeah, number one. So I came from maybe nature and trail running, and then came to the track later. It was after COVID when I really started competing on track in Germany.
Yeah, yeah. Very, very interesting. And I think um it's a common theme among young athletes that like when you join a club as a very young kid, you don't do that much running. Like you're always like doing exercises and standing in line and doing, yeah, of course you try jumps and throws and that and all
Yeah.
of that, but you actually don't do that much running. Like it's not like your coach takes you out for a nice run in the forest
Mhm.
or things like that. Like I remember when I used to be yeah, a young athlete, and I also joined my local club. Like practice was fun because I was hanging out with the other kids and my friends, but we weren't doing like that much running. So I was also seeking adventure and also wanting to run more outside of practice. So it's very interesting what you say. Also, I think like not just focusing on running as at a young age, like as a kid, and also trying other sports like biking, but also like throwing or jumping is very good for your development because you don't just focus on one activity, but you are developing as an athlete in different directions. And I think it's very beneficial for your future. So Like if you look at the career, for example, of other athletes, it's not like they specialize from a very young age, but usually when they're young, they try different sports and they combine different events. Even if you take, for example, Jacob Ingebrigtsen, who is, of course, like probably the number one in middle distance running right now, he wasn't always focusing on like middle distance running training when he was young. He was doing many, many things. So I think that's very important for the development of the young athletes.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, yeah. And what about cycling? Do you like road cycling or mountain biking? And do you follow like the races, the grand tours, the pros?
Yeah, I like I like mountain biking a bit better because yeah, you can go more yeah, the nature ways, the single paths. That's what I really like. And you don't have to stop your tour because when you have a road bike, you can't take any way you want because it might break if you if you
Yeah,
take the ways you want. Yeah. And yeah, of course, I follow yeah, the big races like Tour de France, Giro d'Italia, and yeah, I'm fan of the German Bora Hansgrohe team. Yeah,
yeah, really cool. I think uh, running should learn a lot from the cycling world in terms of how professional and advanced it is. But
yeah,
that's for
that's so great. Yeah,
yeah, that's for another chapter. Yeah, I wanted to talk a little bit about your experience in the US as a college athlete. You mentioned that you are studying at the Wingate University in Carolina. Um, how did you get involved? Like, did you get on a scholarship for athletics, or did you just decide to study abroad independently?
no, I got the scholarship, and
Cool.
yeah, I wanted to have a really strong training group, but not only set my focus on running, but because if you have an injury, your career might end, and that's why I wanted to have good academics and a good training group. And in Germany, it was pretty difficult to find a good training group for long distance running. That's why I had to decide if I want to go to the US and yeah, focus on track running yeah, for maybe 3 or 4 years and then go to mountain running, or if I want to train more on my own and go to like Innsbruck or Switzerland to study. Yeah, these were my two options, and I decided to get a bit faster first and
Yeah.
then go to the mountains. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a great choice because you always have time to train for the mountains. Like you don't have to do it from a very, very young age. And also like if you go to Innsbruck, you don't have the same really good training group that you have
Yeah.
in college right now in North Carolina, where you know your teammates are obviously very, very fast and very strong. So I think the team aspect makes a difference. So I wanted you to add some comments on that. Like, how do you think the team environment makes a difference in your training? And do you ever find that sometimes you push too hard in training because you're surrounded by, you know, very, very, very fast athletes? And like, how do you keep the balance between training too hard and doing what you need to do?
Our coach, yeah, watches us and, yeah, looks if we push too hard, he, yeah, gives us special paces. And we normally have, yeah, lots of guys in the group who have, yeah, good experience and, yeah, try to stay on the paces, don't push too hard.
Good.
Because I am normally a person who maybe pushes a bit too hard because I'm used to train alone. And if you train alone, yeah, you maybe push a bit more than if you train in a group. We have sessions where we don't push too hard, like the tempo sessions. And then sometimes we have, yeah, really fast track sessions where it's really needed to push hard. And
Yeah.
then it's helpful to have a group to change the leading positions, that it doesn't feel that hard and that you can stay on that pace. Because I would say, if you train alone, some workouts would not be possible. It's sometimes good to have someone in the front who goes for the pace, and
Yeah.
you just have to concentrate on following him and not looking for the pace. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I totally agree. And having done some track, and like some of my training is still based on track and like flat workouts. So I know how easier it feels to run at certain speeds when you are following someone, when you are in a group. Because like track, I think it's a lot about pacing and just getting in the right zone. Because it shouldn't feel too hard. It's almost like you have to get in the flow. I don't know how to explain, but
Yeah.
when you're doing like intervals, 400s or 1K intervals on the track, like you're running really fast, but it doesn't feel as hard as you may imagine for the pace that you're running
Mhm.
sometimes when you're in a group, especially. Yeah, so that's very important. How is your training setup to be like? What does a typical week look like? And also, I can imagine you also work a lot with in the gym, like with strength and conditioning coach probably. So how you complement your running training?
If we don't have a competition, we normally go to the gym 2 times. It's on the easy days.
Yeah.
And yeah, we have some just easy runs, not too much mileage. It's normally Monday, Thursday, and also Saturday. And then we have two workouts. Normally, one is fast speed workout on a track, and one is tempo workout. As you told, it should not feel too hard. And the tempo workout is sometimes a double session.
Hmm.
And then Sunday we have the long run, and Wednesday a medium long run. Yeah.
Cool. And what's your average weekly mileage? And also, do you train before or after school, or sometimes both?
My mileage, it I would say in a competition week, it's sometimes really less if it's an important competition. Like sometimes less than 100K. And if we have big weeks, it can also be 130K, something like that.
Yeah.
And practice is normally after school at often at 3:30 in the afternoon. And if we have the double session, we have to do the first workout before school at 6 or 7 in the morning. And of course, at the weekend, we also train in the morning because there are no classes.
Yeah. Cool. And how do you like the college life? Like besides, training, how is it to live in a campus in North Carolina? And just how do you like the American life?
Yeah, to live in the campus is pretty good. You have short ways to classes, to the gym, maybe to places to hang out, to the track. That's all. That's perfect. The area around our university is not what I like the best, because you don't have the possibility to go and enjoy the nature that much, because there are just many roads and not that much single tracks or
Are you in a city?
ways in the woods.
Are you in a city with the university?
No, it's there's not a city that close. The next city is about 10 minutes by car, and
Mhm.
the university is just the campus, then some houses around, one supermarket, one gas station, and that's it. So yeah,
Okay.
you really have to stay there. You have not much possibilities because train and bus connections don't really exist. So you have to have teammates with cars to get out of the campus. And
Yeah.
yeah, that's what I'm not used from Europe and
Yeah.
what could be better. But yeah, for right now, I would say training and academics is yeah, more important. So yeah, it's okay for me. It could be nicer, but that's how it is. Yeah.
Yeah, you're willing to make the sacrifice. Yeah, I was also actually a high school student myself in Indiana, and basically like our high school was in the middle of a cornfield in Indiana, like with nothing
Okay,
around.
wow.
So the only option to get there was either with the school bus or by car, but it was like nothing around, and everything you
Yeah.
could do was basically by car. I mean, you could ride the bike in the countryside, but that was about it. Very flat, very, Midwest,
Mhm.
agricultural town. I don't know if North Carolina is similar, but probably feels similar from what you just described. Um, I wanted to ask you about your coach and the fact, like, I think is it's quite interesting how apparently your college coach, allows you to compete also on the trails, because I've heard from many other athletes that it's a common thing in the US that college athletes are discouraged from competing in trail and mountain running competitions because they can get hurt, or like their coach thinks that um, competing or training for the trails will slow them down for the track.
Mhm.
So what does your coach think about that?
Yeah, he told me he wants to do what his athletes want to do, and that's why he doesn't really has problems with me
Good.
competing in trail races. The nice thing was that he also came to Annecy to watch my races at the
Oh, that's
Europeans
awesome.
because yeah, he his parents live in Barcelona, so he yeah went by flight to Annecy to watch. And yeah, it was his first time to watch such a type of race. And yeah, he really liked it, liked the area. So he's really positive, yeah, to mountain running. And when we talked about my competitions in summer, he said, yeah, it's okay to have trail races, also to have a bit longer ones, because the summer is there to work on the basics and yeah, to have more easy runs, to have more mileage. And that's why, yeah, trail races might be a good fit.
Yeah,
And yeah, maybe also a not bad preparation for the cross country season. And
exactly.
yeah, if I like it and if I've done a good track season, then yeah, why not? Why not? Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, that's very good. I think it's not that common that college coaches in the US allowed athletes to, do whatever they want in the summer or compete in trail races.
Mhm.
Um, and also very cool that he came to watch this championship. I think like it wasn't the best championship. Obviously, the bad weather had a big impact. But I
Yeah.
think also the organization was not the best. Like together with the maxi race, it felt a little bit like the championship felt a little bit left aside.
Mm.
Whereas, for example, in Eastbrook, I think it was much better organized. I don't know if you agree, but I mean that's another story. But um, I hope your coach still enjoyed the ambience and the atmosphere of Annecy. Obviously, it's a great city for outdoor sports and trail running in particular, but I don't think it was like the best edition of the European Championship, unfortunately.
Yeah, yeah, you're right. But the funny thing is that one of the girls he coached some years ago also competed. And
Cool.
yeah, one guy who left university, I think 1 year ago, is also a trail runner now in Brooks in France. So it's a bit more common maybe in Wingate to get a trail runner after. I don't know, but yeah.
Nice. Yeah,
So
nice.
he's not maybe he's a bit into trail running and not yeah, that strict with yeah, the races.
Yeah, exactly. I think you don't have to be super strict, like especially when you're developing, and obviously you're still technically a junior, you're 19.
Yeah.
So like you don't have to specialize too early because that I think could prevent some of the developments that you could have as an athlete. And the versatility, the ability to express yourself in different disciplines, I think is very important, as I was mentioning. So to have like this kind of three separate seasons, not separate, but like combining, track in the spring and then trail mountain running in the summer and cross country in the fall, in the autumn, um, I think can be very, very, very positive for you. And is actually what I kind of always done. Before I really focus on trails. I actually still enjoy running cross country and on the roads in the winter. I don't do much track anymore because it's basically in the summer. So I have,
Hmm.
trail races. So it's
Yeah.
very difficult to hold together track and trails at the same time. But I think like every time I get to say November, I'm looking forward to cross country and running on the roads and getting fast. And every
That's cool.
time
Yeah.
it's like April, I want to run on the trails because I see, it's nice weather in the mountains and it's just a lot of fun to to train and race in the mountains. And I don't want
Yeah.
to race on the roads anymore. Uh, cool. But then, of course, now my main goals are on the trails, so I need to specialize a bit more. But I'm
Hmm.
also 32, so not too young anymore. Um, cool. Also, another question that I wanted to ask you, being immersed in, a track cross country environment, do you get a sense that track athletes kind of overlook the sport of trail running, or is it changing? Because I think for many track athletes, they've always seen the trails as a place for athletes who are not fast enough to make it on the road, or like you don't have to be fast in order to be competitive on the trails. But maybe now it's changing. I don't know. What's your impression? Like, what do
Um,
your teammates tell you?
My teammates were really interested when they heard that I, yeah, do trail races. And yeah, when I was at home to compete at the nationals to also qualify for the Europeans, yeah, they also watch the results. And yeah, they know that you have to be really fast, yeah, on the track to be good on the trails today, because yeah, they see how fast I am on the track, and yeah, what that yeah, performance helps me on the trail. So I think they are not yeah, they don't think that bad about trail running. And some of them also want to go to trail running later, or at least try trail running. Some of them tell about yeah, the UTMB in Chamonix,
Cool.
they want to try. And yeah, I think it developed. And at nationals in our division in America, I also talked to some other guys, and yeah, some of them tell, wow, cool, you are going to European Championships in trail running. I also enjoy trail running, but I'm not that good. So I think it changed a lot. And also in Germany, it changed a lot because people see not the bad guys go to the mountains or to the trails. Um, they are also really good. They can also be fast on the tracks or on the road. And because I'm a person, I can come to the track and also yeah, beat lots of that guys and still be really good in mountain running. So yeah, it changed, but you have to be good on track, maybe that they accept you a bit better. If
Yeah.
you are only on the trails and only get titles there, then they think, yeah, maybe it's a bit easy. But if you have your really fast track times and perform there, then
Yeah.
yeah, they
They
see
respect
that
you.
it's really difficult and also can imagine, yeah, what you have to do and that it's special to combine these two disciplines.
Yeah, that's cool. So it's maybe changing a little bit, and we're hopefully going from a niche sport to having the same dignity as the roads or track and field, uh, and becoming just one sport under the same umbrella, which I think could be really positive. Also, the comment that you made about your coach, being interested in trail running and allowing you to do trail and mountain races this summer, I think is very positive. You probably don't see many coaches like that. So kudos to your coach. um, nice. So I mean, we talked about some of your races. I wanted to ask you in particular about the European Cross Country Championship in Bruxelles last year, where you were 17th, I think. The It was also a pretty muddy experience, I think, because the Italian team didn't do really well because of the conditions. How was it like? And were you pretty happy about that result? Hey,
My Wi-Fi was a bit broken. I don't know what the problem was, but yeah,
that's
now
okay.
it works again.
I will
Okay,
edit the podcast.
okay,
So
thanks.
I was just asking you, um, you were 17th at the European Championship. Sorry, you were 17th at the European Cross Country Championship in Bruxelles, 2023. I think it was a pretty muddy experience. I remember the Italian team struggled a little bit because of the conditions of the course. So tell us about that experience and what it was like what it felt like for you to, it's probably one of the, I think cross country is always very interesting because you really get the best of the best because you have only one event and all the people go there. So you don't have like 15, like you have from 1500-meter runners to marathon runners all in the same race. So I think the World Cross Country Championship is probably the most competitive event on earth that people don't know.
Yeah.
And the European Championship is probably the same at a European level. So I think to come in 17th place as a junior is very impressive. What was it like?
Yeah, it's a crazy experience. So much fast guys, and yeah, it's not that easy for me because the course in Bruxelles was just 5K, and yeah,
Mhm.
you have to be really fast there. And yeah, people cheering, shouting, the atmosphere is so good. Yeah, also in Italy the year before.
Oh,
And
you competed
yeah, I really,
in Torino?
yeah, yeah.
Cool. That was a challenging course because it was like a big climb up to when you went through that inside the building, like inside the villa, with the carriages and
Yeah,
then the downhill. It was a tough one, I think.
yeah, and I really like to have another international competition besides mountain running. And I think I did pretty good in Bruxelles,
Yeah.
17th place. And it was not that far away from the top five. I feel like it was about 15 seconds to the top five. So yeah, we have really much guys on the same level. And so if we have 100 starters, yeah, it's pretty good to make it to that place. The year before was not that good for me, because if you come the first time to a competition like that, it's just crazy how people start sprinting at the starting line, and you think, and yeah, you can't really know what to do, how to race, because it's yeah, a completely different competition to mountain running, to track races, and you don't have yeah, a really good preparation for that, because in Germany cross country running is not that popular, and you can really easily yeah, be one of the first guys, and so you don't have to compete against these much people on this level. That's why I think experience in this event really helps you, makes you better each year. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, I understand. I agree. And now tell us about the experience at YCC, the first taste of UTMB as a junior, where you won the youth race of UTMB. You seem to like the longer distances also more than the shorter ones. Like probably a good race format for you is about 1 hour. What do you think?
Yeah, I think 1 hour is pretty good for me. Not too long, not too short. And
YCC
yeah,
was
Chamonix,
even more, right?
yeah, it was 1:22 or something. Yeah, it was pretty long for me. Yeah.
Yeah, not short for a junior
Yeah,
race.
yeah. Yeah, Chamonix was a great experience. So many trail runners in the city. The atmosphere was, yeah, incredible. And yeah, starting at the race for juniors, that is yeah, as seen as important. Yeah, it's good to have, because you don't have much of these races besides European championships or
Yeah,
world championships, and you can really compete in trail running, because yeah, you don't have another trail race where all the big brands send their athletes. And I was really happy to win the race. um my tactic was going from the front. That's why I was leading after going out of yeah, the Courmayeur city, and then I was running on my own for the whole 15K, but it worked out. I had the gap of about 1 minute at the finish line, but it was of course a tough race. And it was my first longer downhill. I think it was 1.2K of climbing. So also in the downhill, that was a new experience for me. But at that day, I decided to come to other UTMB races again, because yeah, I liked how they organize it, and yeah, atmosphere, and the big number of people who have the passion about trail running. Yeah.
yeah. It really feels like a big event, like almost going like to a major marathon or
Hmm.
big event, like what a world championship should be basically, but it's UTMB. Did you go with ASICS? Like, were you already supported by ASICS at that time?
Yeah, I went there with the Essex team, and it's also great to have, yeah. a strong team to have athletes in all the events. And yeah, the older guys can give you advice in racing. You come together with people from all over the world, because we also had people from Asia, from all over Europe. Yeah, it's so good to be with these people for the whole week. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's true that as a junior you don't have that many opportunities to compete in trail running, besides, you know, European World Championship, which are just every other year, and UTMB, and maybe another handful of races besides, you know, the national championship, I can imagine, and a few others. So I've been reflecting a lot on how we can develop um, young talents, young athletes, and give them more opportunities to compete, to experience the sport of trail running. And I think what UTMB is doing is obviously positive. I would like to see more races doing that. There is Sierre also that organizes a junior race from
Yeah.
Chandelan to Zinal that is also
Mhm.
quite competitive. Like, it's been won in the past by athletes who then became really, really, really good athletes. So you're probably um, not the age where you can compete in the junior Serginal anymore, but I think more races should have uh, that opportunity for young people. Um, Maybe getting towards the end of our conversation, I wanted to ask you about your goals, especially for this summer, because you mentioned that you're interested in taking part in some trail running competitions. So where can we see you this summer?
The upcoming weekend, I will race the UTMB race in France, and then I have
Which one?
also two race. I think it's called Trail du Saint-Jacques or something
Saint-Jacques.
like that. I'm not the best in
Mhm.
in French. I never had French, so maybe my yeah spelling is not correct. But and then
The
I will
20 kilometer.
yeah, 18 kilometers,
Okay.
but not that much climbing, only 600-meter elevation. But I also like to have a fast trail
Yeah.
to speed up a bit. Yeah. Then I will go to two races of the World Cup to also compete against the Kenyan athletes. I
Nice.
think it was Großglockner and the race in Portugal.
Okay.
And at the end of the summer, I also have a race with some teammates in Davos X Trails in Switzerland. And I also will compete in the Skyrunning World Championships for the youth this summer to have yeah, this new experience, because I've never done a really yeah, a real skyrunning competition with that much climbing on, yeah, just a short amount of kilometers. So I really look forward to that, and also to the other races, because I think yeah, they are really challenging. And I think also the World Cup is maybe a good experience for World Championships, because you don't only have the European athletes there.
Yeah. 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 Very, very interesting. Very good. Will you also compete at the UTMB in Chamonix?
I hope that I can get there. Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe I have to come back for the event, but I hope to be there, and then I would race the ETC this year to,
Yeah.
yeah, compete against the adults. I could race the YCC with my age still, but yeah, I want to go for the ETC.
Yeah. Cool. Um, what are some of the athletes that you admire? Can be in trail running or track and field. And where do you look for inspiration from other athletes in the sport?
Um, on track and road, I would say one of the persons I admire is a German one. It's Richard Ringer. He
Oh
is
yeah,
the European champion, yeah, in marathon running.
I
And
just saw him this weekend in Rome competing in the
oh,
half
okay,
marathon.
nice. Because my sister and me met him when I think it was like 10 years ago. We wanted to interview him, and there was a Christmas wishing action at one of the newspapers in our region, and we wished to meet him, and yeah, we were allowed to, and he came to our home city, like 2 hour drive for him. And then we did the interview. And after that, we were writing postcards to each other. And
Cool.
yeah, we are still in contact. So yeah, it was great to see him being European champion in the same year than I became European champion in mountain running in U20. So yeah, it's yeah, a nice connection with him. And yeah, in trail running, we have so many great athletes. One of them is also you, because you are really
Thanks.
great on so much distances, from ultra running like 50K, and then also in the vertical. So that's crazy. Yeah, I really admire the whole Italian team, because you are so close to each other, so strong. Yeah, it's crazy what a good team you have. And yeah, yeah, we have so many great trail athletes. It's maybe hard to pick one special. I would say yeah, I really like the whole scene of trail running. Yeah, it's such a great group of people. And yeah.
Thank you. Thank you about the nice comment that you had about me. And yeah, it's true. We had a really strong team in Italy. We didn't do so well in the European Championship, unfortunately. I think everyone kind of struggled a little bit, but yeah, we push each other a lot. It's competitive. If every time you go to a national race, you're guaranteed that you will find someone who is very strong, very fast, and
Yeah.
that will challenge you. We have the opportunity to do some training camps together throughout the season, thanks to our national federation that supports us sometimes. So that is also very nice. So yeah, I feel lucky to be part of the Italian team. Final question before I let you go. If you think about yourself in 5 to 10 years, do you see yourself more on the track or on the trails?
In 5 to 10 years, I think I'm more the trail runner, because my study in the US ends in 3.5 years, and I think after that I have enough speed. Then I maybe will do 1 year more on track or road. I will see, but yeah, then yeah, of course, go more to mountain and trail running, because I think I have maybe more. I'm maybe a bit better in mountain and trail running. It's maybe harder for me to make it to one of the best Europeans in the track or on the road, and it might be more possible, yeah, in mountain and trail running. And I also really enjoy traveling to these different places, and yeah, the
Yeah,
connection between the athletes is I think so special. And I like it even better than in track or in road. It's more like a family in, yeah, trail and mountain running. So yeah, that's where I want to belong to. Yeah.
trail is the best. Yeah. Yeah, I agree. It depends also on the opportunities that you have because you never know what's going to happen in 5 or 10 years. Like you might become a really strong road marathoner and then, you sign a contract with a big brand and then you focus on making it to the Olympics, for example. That could be also
Yeah.
super
Yeah, that
interesting,
would be also
super,
great. Yeah.
yeah. But obviously, if you have other better opportunities on the trails, I think you won't say no to the trails. Cool. Well, thank you for the conversation. It was very interesting to get to know you better, and I hope our audience enjoyed it. And I hope everyone will start following you because, as I mentioned, you're a great talent. You're very young. You have the right mindset to do things properly with a good attitude, having fun, and not take yourself too seriously, I think. So good luck. I hope to see you soon this summer.
Yeah, thanks for the invitation. I also really enjoyed, and yeah, I also hope to, yeah, see you again, maybe
Yeah,
compete against each other. Yeah, good luck for your season and
yeah,
see
you
you.
too. I'm sure it will happen very soon. Okay, thank
Yeah,
you.
thanks.